Welcome back, guys. This is the second video in what I'm going to call the Brass Prep series. This video is about primer pocket work, and main highlight here is going to be the RCBS large and small rifle primer uniformers. I just picked up both of them about a week ago, week and a half ago, and I went on a little bit of a tangent and uniformed most of my brass primer pockets. So I did a little bit of research before the video here to see why people are using the uniformers to clean up their pockets, their primer pockets. There was a few people that said, "Oh, we just do it to, it's easier than using the brush because it gets a better result." And it does. It absolutely does, without a doubt. But there's some other people that are saying it gives you a lower extreme spread. So that's something we're going to have to test out with the lab radar when I get back out to the range. And there's a couple of people that said safety is one of their main reasons for running them. There was, I believe, two or three people that I saw that were saying their brass that they were using at the range was the primers weren't seating deep enough from whatever issue from the manufacturer, whoever produced it, that primer didn't seat well in that case. So they were using the uniformer to cut the primer pocket deeper so that they didn't have an accidental just discharge at the range, which is a very valid and honestly uh, pretty understandable reason as to why you would cut the primer pocket deeper. Um, a few bench rest shooters were saying that they do it for the consistency, batch to batch and brand to brand. If they're going from Lapua to Peterson, they don't have to worry about the manufacturer depth on the prop pocket itself. They just cut it and went with it. And one thing that I saw a lot of people saying is there's people that say they don't do it, there's people that say they do it, but it all depends on your use case. It all depends on why you're what you're loading for. A lot of the people that shoot 600 to 1,000 plus yards are saying they do it because it gives you a smaller group at longer distance. Again, something we can test at the range when I get back out there. But I mean, for my hunting ammo, I'm probably not going to, just because I know that the primers seat deep enough that they're not going to be proud of the head stamp, so I'm not going to have to worry about um, accidental discharges while I'm out hunting. And another thing is, I have a lot of hunting brass, and this is a very, very time consuming process. Most of this brass that I have time lapse footage from earlier this week. Most of the brass that I did this week was done in a 3 day period, I believe. And it was a lot of work. Like my hands were cramping. I had to, run it for an hour and then get up and walk around and, relax a little bit. Other than this is relaxing for me too. But one of the things that I hate the most is hardcore brass prep work. Stuff that really is time consuming and tedious, and especially if you're doing hundreds and hundreds of cases. I mean, I did probably 200 or 300 cases this past week. So that's kind of why people do it. Normally I was using a brush, just a primer pocket brush before, and it gets decently clean. I have a video or a picture I'll put up here. It gets decently clean from that, but compared to the uniformer, I can see why people use it to clean because it's a set depth. I mean, it is adjustable. There is a set screw on here, but it's a set depth that you can just take the top layer of grime and grunge and residue off of the pocket itself, and it seems to work out pretty well. One thing I do recommend if you pick these up and do this yourself is make sure you grab your caliper and check the depth on the excuse me check the depth on the cutting head itself and make sure that it's within a acceptable tolerance of whatever primers you're using. And then another thing I recommend is loading up a primer in a case and going to check to make sure that the firing pin hits with enough contact to ignite the primer, as well as make sure that it isn't seated too deep as well. You know, there's that fine middle ground of, is it not deep enough or too deep, you know? So that's what I recommend. Real short video here. I'm going to roll in some time lapse footage and we're going to get this video done for you guys today. Till next time. You would be